Hey, Tom here with another Fuel for the Fire. This time it's volume 586, Challenging Your Self-Talk. The human brain is truly an amazing work of God. We're constantly gathering data and interpreting the situations that we find ourselves in. It goes on even while we sleep. And there's an internal voice inside our head that determines how we perceive every situation. And then we miraculously filter out tons of material that we don't need, like the colors of all the cars that we see on the highway today. And yet, there's something that sticks. Our self-talk is a major player in what our life looks like. Believe it or not, even God has self-talk, and some of it's recorded in the Bible. Genesis 1:26 says, "And God said, let us make man in our image." Within the different aspects of God's personhood, there's conversation. In much the same way, we converse within ourselves, self-talk. Much of our self-talk is very defeating. We tend to replay messages conveyed to us by people from our past. You'll never amount to anything, or you can't do anything right. Negative words seem to lodge much more readily than positive messages that come our way. Sometimes our self-talk is influenced by a childhood experience, the way we were treated by parents or siblings, friends or teachers. Maybe we had a distinguishing physical characteristic like a big nose or ears that stick out, or maybe we were overweight. Most of us are aware of self-talk, but what we often fail to realize is how powerful of an influence this is. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. That's God's way of saying, you are what you think. Our self-talk can limit us. We make the mistake of believing every thought that roams unchecked through the vast corridors of our brain, and we unwittingly allow them to govern our lives and influence our destiny. Enough, I say. It's time to challenge your self-talk. Learning to refute negative and unhelpful thoughts will take perseverance, time, and practice, but it's worth the effort. It will make a difference because everything you do is created first in your mind. It's like a blueprint that is created initially on the desk of an architect and then handed to a general contractor for construction. We need to test the accuracy of our perceptions by asking 3 challenging questions. Number 1, what's the truth? In other words, is my thought accurate? Did I get this from God, or is it a hostile word spoken by a hurting relative 20 years ago? Just because someone said it doesn't make it true. Number 2, would I repeat my self-talk to God? We wouldn't dare repeat most of it because it would be an affront to the one who created us. And anything we wouldn't say in front of God isn't worth thinking either. And number 3, is my self-talk turning me into a victim or an overcomer? Another way to say this is, am I lamenting the past or planning for the future? It's like hitting a bad shot in golf. As we walk down the fairway of life, are we lamenting what went wrong or planning the next shot? Good golfers think ahead. People that trust God do too. We will never become what God called us to be by replaying our sordid past and our slices into the woods. But we can overcome by making a great recovery out of the bunker of life. Now, what if at the end of every evening we received a transcript of our self-talk for the day? One word: yikes. My encouragement to you today is to challenge your self-talk. Hold it up to the scrutiny of today's questions. Is it true? Would I say this to God? And is the thought running through my mind turning me into a victim or an overcomer? Answer those 3 questions and you'll have come a long way toward challenging your self-talk. Hey, that's the way I see it. And that's a little fuel for the fire. And remember, I love you guys.